Welcome to Vinyasa Yoga. I'm here a minute early because I feel like I just need to sage the space. So if you have any in your home and you want to do the same or light a candle, maybe some essential oils, I feel that in order to clear and shed, it's important to do this once in a while. Just like clears all negative energy and bad energy. Hi, thanks for being here. Every time I'm like done, Evan's like, what is that? What is that? You can say mantra when you do this too. Thanks for being here. I love seeing you all say hi. Okay. So, how are you doing? Let me know if you have any requests. Take off my jewelry, get my hair up, and we're gonna get started. So I just came up with this analogy. I shared it in my stories. I'm gonna share it here also. Tell me if it resonates with you or if you've got anything better. But we talk a lot about possessing the light within so that others feel that from the outside, right? You saw in my stories, I use that quote. There's another one that when you light your lamp for someone else, it's gonna brighten your path. But with that being said, this week has keep showing me the same message. And usually when that happens through the universe, I share it with you and you guys message me and you're like, same here, same here. And sometimes someone could block your light, okay? So this is what just came to me. Envision that you're in this tunnel and you have your device with you, cell phone, iPad, something. And you put your flashlight on and it leads the way, okay? Now, sometimes when others do that too, because we all have our own devices, right? You can illuminate this beautiful path for everyone to see. But once in a while, there might be a person that blocks the light. And sometimes they step in front of you or they might take your whole hand unintentionally or intentionally and completely block your flashlight from your device. And when that happens, it's really hard to not be like, B-I-T-C-H, move out of the way, right? We have to trust that there's something higher working for us and keep being the light. And that's what the words namaste translates to. The light within me honors and recognizes the light within each of you. So does this make sense to you? I don't know, but for me, it was like a really clear way to be like, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So this week in particular, there's been that feeling that people are trying to take away my light. But I'm trying to say, listen, you just keep shining your light and we'll all grow and shine this bright light that alone we wouldn't achieve. Okay, so that's my little spiel. We're gonna start. Switching the cross of your legs. If you were in that cross-legged position, close the eyes. Take the shoulders up by your ears and then back and down. And then have your palms facing up, anywhere on the lap or your knees, open to receiving. Maybe taking a sigh through the lips. Let the chin be parallel to the ground. Lean back just ever so slightly. I know that your yoga begins now. Bringing the hands into heart center, bow the chin to your fingertips. And maybe setting intention to shine your light, share your passions, and keep doing you. And trust that there's something out there that's so much bigger than us individually. You can't go wrong with you too, right? Beautiful day. We can make it a beautiful day, even with this tropical storm coming our way. It might give us some flooding. Those of you viewing from South Florida, we're in it together. Opening the eyes, send these prayer hands all the way up. And then exhale, take them by your side. Do it again. Inhale, sinking breath with the movement. Take it all in. Exhale, release arms by your side. Last one, inhale like you mean it, really taking in all this oxygen. Exhale, arms by your side. And we'll start with a spinal twist. Left hand to your right knee, right arm comes behind you. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, twist, look over that right shoulder. Again, inhale, exhale. And then take a double helix so the chin looks over the left shoulder. You get a nice little stretch in the neck. And then come through center and switch sides. Right hand, left knee, inhale tall. Exhale, twist. Again, inhale, exhale. Double helix, chin looks over that right shoulder. And then release, come to all fours, tabletop position. Get a little volume on. It's a beautiful day. All right, so span the fingers out nice and wide. The pointer finger or the middle finger can point to the top of your mat. We're gonna take cat-cow. Tucking the toes, inhale, arch the spine, look up. Exhale, tops of the feet come down, round that upper back, look towards the belly. Couple more, inhale, open and arch. Exhale, round and hunch. One more time, inhale, really pull through the chest as you look up. Exhale, round that upper back, draw in. And then come to neutral tabletop here. Reaching your right arm up, we're gonna thread the needle. So the right shoulder lowers behind the left wrist. You can lower that ear to the mat. Sometimes I turn just so you can hear and see me okay. But you stay the same, right? Left arm reaches up. You could do your half bind reaching for your right hip. You can also tuck the left toes, extending that left leg straight. If you want to add in balance today, maybe lift it hip height. If you're feeling crazy, take the heel to the glute with your left hand. Maybe you can find that foot, drawing it to the, oh yeah. And then whenever you're ready to release, knee down. The left hand frames the face, right arm reaches up. Exhale, take it down. Left arm, do the same. Thread it through. Left ear comes down. Pull the shoulder away from the ear. Half bind, right arm behind the back. Reach for left hip pocket. You can extend that right leg, toes on the earth. You could float it. Or if you're feeling like you're in a playful mood, take the heel back to the glute. And maybe the right hand could find that foot as you draw it in. Add in your quad. When you're ready to release, hand frame space, knee comes down. Left arm then reaches up. Exhale, take it down. Puppy pose. So you're going to walk your hands forward. You're going to leave your hips high. Just start to descend the forehead and the chest. So some of you are going to get the release by releasing that forehead. If you want more, try to think about that chin coming down. It's okay if the forearms touch. It's also okay to do a spider finger and lift the forearms off the mat. Just opening that upper back. Slowly walking the hands in. We're going to take a quick child's pose here. Toes together, knees apart. Maybe taking prayer hands. You can bend at the elbows. Take the thumbs behind your low head onto that neck. You can walk the elbows forward. And then slowly come back to tabletop position. We're going to float our table, tucking the toes. Lift your knees like 2 inches off the ground. Awaken that core. And then turbo dog. Keep the knees bent as the hips go high. Shake your head out. Yes and no and yes again. And then take your dog for a walk. Straighten just through the right leg. Bend the right knee. Straighten just through the left. You can go back and forth here. And then let's shift forward for alignment purposes into your plank position. So from here, the hands and the feet kind of commit to where they are. So all you do is lift your hips up and back to dog. So the heels do not have to touch the mat. We just use the cue for direction. You can even soften the knees as you pull the chest through, really lengthening through the spine. And then look all the way to the top of the mat, and let's bring our feet to our hands your way. First few, I like to step, little baby cute steps to the top of the yoga mat. Feet are hips width distance apart. Just hang heavy. Relax the jaw. If you like the additional traction, go in for opposite elbows, creating a picture frame around your head, and just sway left and right. Lubricating that low back, the lumbar spine, saying good morning to the hamstrings. You're watching the replay, maybe saying good night, right? Maybe even lacing the hands behind the head and draw a little traction through the head. And then you could release all that jazz. We're going to ragdoll up to standing. So lifting the toes so you could feel the four corners of your feet and then rerouting them. Let the knees be soft. Let the chin stay tucked. And one vertebra at a time, rise all the way to standing. Nice work. Let's bring our toes together, moving into sun salutation A. On an inhale, arms reach up. As you exhale, forward fold. You can bring the hands through heart center. You could swan dive. I always like a slight bend in the knees for the first few. Inhale to create the flat back. Hands can come to your shins. As you exhale, hands frame the feet, stepping back into plank upper push-up position. So if you're newer to the practice, the modification would be dropping your knees down. And then we're going to take chaturanga. So elbows stay narrow as they brush the side rib cage, lower all the way to the belly. Hands in line with the chest, inhale, cobra pose. So the tops of the feet are pushing down on the yoga mat as the chest is elevating. And then exhale, release, forehead down. Maybe moving the hands an inch back for your upward facing dog. Lifting the thighs off the mat, a little deeper back bend, roll the shoulder heads back. And then lead with the pit of the belly as you come back into dog. So still early on, you might like a little movement. Sometimes I lift high up on the heels. You can take them left and right. You might find some stillness as you start to reawaken through the body. Good. Take 2 more breaths, really hugging the quadricep onto the bone, pulling the chest back, biceps frame the ear. And if the wrists are weight bearing, try to put a little more weight into the finger pads and behind the knuckles. And then look to the top of your mat. Bring your toes together to touch. So you could take the baby steps if you're ready to lunge or jump your feet. Any way you do it, we try to land lightly. As you inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold in. Reverse swan dive this time. So the arms reach out and up as you come to stand. And then exhale, arms by your stomach. Another round. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold forward your way. Inhale, flat back to lengthen. Exhale, root your hands. You could jump or step your feet back. Lower halfway or all the way. As you inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. As you exhale, meet in downward dog. Right leg is going to reach all the way to the sky. Open, bend, and stretch. Take the heel to the glute. Rotate that ankle. How much space can you find? It's a feel-good moment. And then square the hips. So extend that right leg directly behind you where the toes face down. Look beyond your hands. Bend your right knee. And you're going to step your right foot to the right thumb. Preparing for a high crescent lunge. Stay on the ball of your back foot. On an inhale, reach the arms up. So the modification here, drop the back knee. Everyone could soften it for a moment so you feel that lower belly draw up and in. And then once you have the extension, you can extend the leg back and reach the arms up. Bending into that right knee so that thigh is parallel to the ground. You got it. Last breath. And then exhale, hands frame the right foot, step it back, and lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale, draws back. Left leg, same thing. Open, bend, and stretch. Maybe some hip circles, rotating that ankle. Peeking under the left arm and the right. And then square the hips. So extend that left leg behind you, toes face down. Left knee bends, stepping it forward. So this is all core work. Staying on the ball of your back foot. Squeeze isometrically inner thighs as you reach. So same thing here, right? Sometimes we want to eliminate a little of that back bend. So if you soften the back knee, take the pelvis up and in like you're squeezing into your favorite pair of skinny jeans, then extend the leg. From here, arms reach up, finding all space. One more breath. Exhale, hands frame left foot, step back and lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, take it back. Couple cycles of breath. Calming that central nervous system, starting to create some heat, some tapas within, especially using Ujjayi breath. In and out through the nose, constricting the back of the throat. Bringing your toes together, looking forward, bringing your feet to your hands. You could jump, step, or walk. Take your time. Inhale to find the flat back. Exhale, fold in, chair pose. Hips sink back. Your fingertips brush the ground as you reach up. See all 10 toenails. Sink the hips a little lower. Reach the arms a little higher. One more breath. Come to stand. And release the arms. Let's heel toe the feet hips distance apart. Lace the fingers now behind your back. Maybe the palms could even touch each other. As you inhale, lift the sternum. Exhale, hinging forward. So the crown of the head lowers to the ground as the arms reach up and overhead. As the hamstrings start to warm up, you can lift the sitting bones, straightening out the legs. To come up, we're going to root to rise. So lead with a flat back. Good. Relaxing the shoulders, releasing the bind of the arms. Sun salutation B, our big toes touch. Chair pose, Utkatasana, one breath, arms reach. As you exhale, take it down, fold. Inhale, halfway to lengthen. Exhale, root your hands. You could jump or step back, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, take it back. Warrior one, right foot's going to step to the right thumb. This time 45 degrees with your back foot. On an inhale, we reach up, 5 breaths here. So thinking about the left hip tracking forward. So that right hip might have to pull back just a little. And then really bend into that right knee so it's directly above the ankle. Open your fingers, taking one more breath here. And then exhale, handspring, right foot, step it back, lower down. Inhale, back foot. Exhale, back, warrior one, left foot steps forward. Right foot pivots flat, 45. Inhale, reach. So think about really rooting into that back right heel as well as the knife edge of the foot. So that inner arch will lift to draw the right hip forward. Zip that lower belly up and in, left knee over left ankle. Last breath, open the hands. Exhale, hands frame, left foot, step back, lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And then exhale, 5 breaths here and up. So with those lunges and the squatting, the heart rate escalates, but it lets us know we're alive. So your responsibility here is to come back to this pose, knowing that you can always drop to your knees and take rest at any time. Our goal is to calm the central nervous system down so that we assure ourselves that all is okay. Last breath in, empty out the lungs, maybe even open your mouth, and then bring your toes together, look forward, and you're going to bring your feet to your hands nice and light. Good, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold, finish strong, chair pose, one breath, and come to stand. Release your arms. Beautiful. Let's take a big step open with the right leg, coming into a wide leg stance. So edges of the feet are in line with the edges of your mat. And then you're just going to hinge forward, releasing the hands for a wide leg downward facing dog. So walking the hands forward and then pull the chest through. And then you're going to walk your hands in. Keep your right hand underneath the face, so it's a nice long extension. Left hand will come to the left hip. Turn the torso to the left, maybe reach your left arm up. And then release. Let the left hand now come underneath the face, so the shoulder stacks above the wrist. Right hand to the right hip. That way you can keep that low back neutral. Right arm then reaches up. Trying to level everything out. Good. And then release, both hands down. One last stretch. We're going to walk our hands in line with the feet, starting to let the crown of the head lower to the mat. This may be enough, or with your peace sign fingers, right, you can hook your big toes. As you create the length, then you can hinge forward, maybe bending at the elbows, Getting this nice awakening in the hips and the hamstrings. And then you're going to release all that jazz. Nice work. Bring your hands onto your hips, and with a flat back, we're coming up. Preparing for external rotation. Warrior 2 to the back of your mat. So the right toes turn out. We're going to bend deep into that right knee. Opening the arms out like wings. And if you're pulling forward, let that left wrist line up over that back ankle. And then gazes out towards the right middle finger, and the right knee tracks forward. Open through the chest, strong pose, strong mind. And we're going to take it into side angle. So right forearm on the right thigh, left arm reaches up, my level 1s. Level 2, your right hand could lower to a block inside or outside of the leg. And then the left arm could extend over ear for extended side angle. Make sure the weight is in both of your legs. To release, look down towards the right big toe. Let the left arm pick you up in reverse. So your right palm goes up. The left arm goes down the back leg, right bicep over ear. All the while, that right knee still tracks forward. Nice. You can look to the back foot. You could half bind, left arm behind the low back, reach for the front hip. Beautiful. Straighten the front leg. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn the right toes in and turn the left toes out to the front of the mat. Warrior 2, second side. Oh, I hate when that happens. Gotta love the lives. All right, it's a good thing you're in the hold. Let me fix our technology. Okay, one more breath in your warrior 2, and we're gonna take it into side angle. So left forearm, left thigh. And again, you could stay there. You can let the left hand come onto the mat. You can then extend the right arm over ear. So in warrior 2, in side angle, in reverse, the legs stay exactly as they are. We're taking deep breaths. To release, look down towards your left big toe so the right arm picks you up, and now reverse. So left palm is up. Right arm goes down the back leg, left bicep over ear. You could look back towards the right foot. You could bind with the right hand so the fingers come to the left hip, kind of giving you that additional stretch. And then slowly back to warrior 2 and straighten the front leg. Hands to hips, left foot in. All right, lacing the fingers behind the back again. Lift the sternum. Hinging forward, incorporating our shoulders one more time, crown down, arms overhead. So think about the inner arches of the feet lifting. Hug quadricep onto bone. Nice, and with the flat back, let's come up. Bringing the hands onto the hips, pivot the left toes to the front of the mat, soften the left knee. We're gonna step the right foot up to meet it. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Into chair pose, arms reaching up, adding in some twists. Hands at heart center, pinkies towards the knees. Left elbow hooks outside the right thigh. Keep pressing the hands to heart center as you look over the right shoulder. Making sure the left knee and hip pull back. You could exalt here, 6 and 12, right arm up, left hand to the outside of the foot. If you want to practice your side crow, you bring both hands to the right. And think of that chaturanga arm, so you create a little shelf for your right hip and the knee. And then if you transfer the weight forward, maybe one or both feet lift off your mat. When you're ready, chair pose again. Utkatasana. And then hands to heart center, we're going to twist the other way. So now right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Press your thumbs into heart center, peeking over the left shoulder. Again, right knee and hip pull back. You can lower right hand to the outside of the foot as the left arm reaches up. So you might stay here, but if you're like, you know what? I want to try it. What have I got to lose? Create that little shelf so the elbow and the hip have to connect. And then you could start to transfer the weight into your hands as the foundation as your feet lift up. And then slowly release. Forward fold, let that go. Open your feet hips distance apart and just hang heavy, relax. And then it's up to you. You can ragdoll up to standing, or you can bring the hands onto your hips. You usually have one way you prefer. So I want to do one more hamstring stretch, and we're going to come into our peak pose. So we're going to keep the right leg where it is, but step the left foot back just one leg distance apart. And both toes are going to point forward, but you're on a wide track. It's not like narrow. Keep your feet hips distance apart. So your hands are going to be on your hips, and with a flat back, start to extend the heart forward. Once you have the extension, pyramid pose. Your hands could lower to the ground. If you've got two blocks, you can always bring the ground up to you, right? You can do it flat, the middle, you can do it all the way up. And then think about here, the right hip pulling back, so this low back is flat, right? We don't want to curve in it. So sometimes that means transferring the weight into the front leg and melt. Adding in the twist here, revolve triangle. So if you have your block, you can bring it underneath the left shoulder. Level 1, right hand comes to the right hip as you turn the chest open to the right. Level 2, reaching that right arm up. But don't revolve so much again that low back doesn't stay flat. Keep thinking about right hip back. There it is. And then you can look up to the right hand for 3, 2, and 1. Release both hands to the earth. Soften your right knee. And then step the left foot forward. Your choice, ragdoll or flat back to stand. Easy transition, hard pose, right? So you step the right foot back. Hands are on the hips, because what you'll see is when you fold forward, right, you start with the extension, what happens? The right hip goes back. So we're like, no, we want to keep the hips neutral. And then once the hips are neutral, you lower your hands, you could round. So again, this left hip has to draw forward, which means we have to put more weight into the front leg. And then you could fold in, getting this juicy, juicy hamstring stretch. And then because we just did the twist, we might as well add that in, right? So if your block, your right hand could come to the block. Otherwise, you can bring it onto the shin or even the outside of the ground of the front leg, okay? Your choice. And then start to turn the torso. So crown head forward, tailbone back. Maybe the left arm reaches up. 3. How's the breathing? 2. Last one. Good. Release. Soften your front knee. Recover. And then you're going to step the back foot up to meet the front. Hands onto your hips, flat back to rise. Arms released by your side. Okay, coming into our peak poses, we're going to start with dancing Shiva. So you're going to bring all the weight into your left standing leg, and you're going to lace your fingers just below the knee as you lift that right leg. So beginners, we're balancing on one foot. This is challenging enough. Then adding in the right arm extending up, you're going to take the right arm behind you. Now, if you have a wall nearby, use it for support, okay? You can be really close to the wall if you're in your own home, right? You might as well take advantage. And then you have the option to extend the right leg forward. And then the last part is to look back to your right hand. If that doesn't work, you're going to keep the knee bent. Okay, fun transition. One more breath. We're going to come into a revolved half moon. So you're going to like windmill the arms until the right hand comes down to a block or under the shoulder of the right hand. Right? Then left hand on your hip. So same pose we just did, we're adding in the balance. Revolving half moon, left arm reaches up. It should feel a little familiar. So the inner hip of this right lifting up, inner thigh, last breath. And then standing split. This should be a nice stretch. So your fingers frame the left foot as the right leg rises. There's all kinds of things you could play with here. You could work on your handstand. You could take the stretch. Maybe left hand to the left ankle. Maybe right hand. When you're ready to release, let your right foot come all the way down. And then ragdoll all the way up. So how do we do that? It's kind of hard, right? But we got a second side, balance it out. So we're bringing all this weight into the right standing leg. I'm trying to stand so all 3 cameras can see. We're going to lift that left knee up. And again, this may be where you're at. You're balancing on one leg. Your hands are interlaced underneath that knee. The left arm might reach up as you take it behind you. Okay, dancing Shiva, maybe chin mudra, thumb and pointer. Final expression is extending the left leg forward. So you're adding in this twist with the balance. Last breath, and then we're going to revolve into revolved half moon. So left hand comes down. Again, if you've got your block, put it underneath the left hand, bring the ground to you. Right hand to the right hip, left leg is still up, and then we reach that right arm up. So dristi can be up to the right hand. If you're like, I'm gonna fall, keep your dristi down, and then think about this left inner thigh lifting up. Yeah. Okay, exhale, fold forward into standing split. So your hands can line up with the right foot as the left leg rises. You could play with your handstand, maybe against a wall. One day you might have right hand to right ankle. One day, even if it's for like a millisecond, both hands reach for the ankle, right? Crown comes down. And then slowly, when you're ready, let the left foot float down to the mat. Bring your hands onto your hips and with the flat back come up. Oh yeah, are we sweating yet? This is hard, right? We're gonna come down to the mat, stretch it out. Let's clean this slate vinyasa. Arms reach up, maybe grab a back bend here just because. As you exhale, take it down. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, root your hands. You could jump, step it back. Take it through the vinyasa or meet in down dog. Take a deep breath in and then just let everything go. When you're ready, you're going to release onto your knees and then just sit off to this side. We're going to do a couple of hip openers next. So first one, I'm going to show you 3 different ways to achieve the same stretch. We're going to come into sticks of fire or double pigeon. So you're going to bend both of your knees. I'll do a side profile. And I want you to cross the right ankle just above the left knee. You can walk your hands in. And the ideal place you're feeling the stretch is the outer right hip. Okay, if you want a little more, extend the left leg forward. And again, this right knee might elevate. You can use any props underneath you. Full expression of the pose is to line up your left shin parallel to the top of your yoga mat. And then the right ankle comes over the left knee as the right knee is over that ankle. And then you can even take your elbows and lean forward. So shoelace, sticks of fire, double pigeon, like all of these stretches. Similar sensation, almost to like pigeon, right, in that outer hip. You can even start to melt forward again, maybe bring the floor to the forehead, maybe take prayer hands. And we're just surrendering for 5 breaths as we release some of the issues in our tissues. So smoothing everything out, being a little more passive. Knowing that all sensation and feelings are temporary, so we want to not just embrace the highs, but know that when things get challenging, to trust the process. So taking one more really cleansing inhale. Empty the lungs, exhale. And then slowly start to walk the hands in. You can bring them back behind you, unravel. I usually like to windshield wiper the knees to the left and to the right before taking side 2. And eventually we'll come in the same way. So this time, left ankle crosses above the right knee. And again, some of you are just going to chill here because you're getting the stretch in this left outer hip, which is exactly what we want. You could flex the foot. The more parallel the shin is to the chest, the deeper the stretch. My level 2s add in the hamstring work, right? You can extend that right leg just like we did in our pyramid pose, and you're still getting the stretch in the left outer hip. Advanced, you're going to take the right shin parallel to the floor. All right, I'm just going to keep it on the floor. Let's see what I can prop it up against. Gotta love live. Okay. You see me okay-ish? Okay. then you're just gonna fold here, right? You can bring the forearms. You usually have one side that's a little better. And while you're in this hold for 5 breaths, I'm gonna try to figure out the camera angle so it doesn't fall again. We only have like 8 minutes left, so we'll be all right. Oh, it's upside down. Okay. Thanks, guys. I love you, Crispin. Thanks for telling me. Allie, this is how we rock, right? It's what makes it real and not perfect. All right, slowly come up. Yeah, this is a good stretch. I'm glad you're feeling it. And then again, just windshield wiper, release the feet, knees side to side. And then let's bring the soles of both feet together. Lift your sternum. Exhale, hinge. You can use the elbows against the knees. Nice stretch in the inner groin. I love this pose. It's so many benefits as you open the sacrum too. And a lot of the twisting we were doing and the bouncing work, this is the counter action. And then slowly come up. Let's just do one with the legs extended, moving flesh out from underneath you. Arms reach up. And then you're gonna hinge forward. Just grab wherever you can. It might be the feet. If you've got your yogi strap, you can release it and put it on the balls of the feet so you can kind of pull your chest through. Once you have the extension, I'm okay for you to tuck that chin in. We just don't want to round here because then we're going to lose the enhancement of the stretch. So you think about the forehead coming through. And then slowly come up. So one more stretch. Let's plant the feet on the earth. We'll do a reverse table into a reverse plank. So what you do is fingers space 6 inches behind you. Fingers are forward. If you're comfortable, the head can fall back. So you can stay here or you can extend the legs straight and you keep lifting your hips so the bottoms of your feet come down towards the mat. Eastern facing pose. And then to release, tuck your chin and we're coming onto our backs. So you can use the arms extended as you lower down. Usually the low back and upper back are fine. It's that mid back that like sucks you down. So we try to go slow and slow and slow and slow. Ah, how amazing does it feel to lie down? So good, right? All right, 2 back bends. Bridge. First one. Heels in line with the glutes. Let's lift the hips. You could add in the shoulders by lacing the fingers. Blades of the hands come together. Pushing into the knife edges. And you can lift your heels if you want to be playful. If you've been doing bridge a while, see what it would be like to support yourself with your hands under the sacrum. It's kind of a nice way to get a release. You could even lift your right leg to the sky and then release and try the left leg, right? So you just play with variations. And then when you're ready to release, arms like a brake pad, upper, lower, all the way down. Oh. Okay, so let your knees touch for a moment. You can open your feet wide. Hand on heart, hand on belly. Gratitude moment. So round 2. Repeating bridge, you can add on, right? You can also try your bridge with your arms extended overhead where the 10 fingernails push into the floor as you lift your hips. So you take out the shoulders, it's a pure back bend. And then moving on to full wheel, if your hands frame the ears, you can lift to the crown of your head. So most people can figure out how to get into this. Adding in the strength, you push into the hands to straighten the arms. So the toes still face forward, the knees almost as if they had a block in between them. Everything engaged for 3, 2, and 1. Tucking the chin to safely exit, lower onto your back. And then just hug the knees in, give yourself a squeeze. Maybe curl up into a little ball where the forehead comes up to the knees. And then release. We're going to do a couple bicycles here for abdominals. So keep holding on to the right leg, but extend the left leg out. And then go ahead releasing the hands behind your head. If it's too much to lift your head, you can leave it on the earth. But if you want a little bit more, let's just do 10 clean ones today. Float your left leg off the ground by a few inches. And then you're going to take left elbow to right knee, right elbow to left knee. So 10 clean. 9, 8. Good. Sometimes slower is harder. Halfway there. This is 5. Breathing out with every connection, elbow to knee. Final 2. Here it is. And 1. Good. Release. Hug the knees in. Rock side to side. Feels good. And then let's invert. Extending legs up 90 degrees. Legs up the wall. You could stay here if you want to practice your headstand or forearm balance. Shoulder stand is always an awesome choice. Just make sure the neck stays neutral as you support the low back. In person, what I typically see is the elbows flaring out. So you'll feel me come and adjust you by drawing them more narrow. And then you could play here. You could do your Baddha Konasana, your straddle. You could even do your plow pose, taking the feet overhead. Maybe grabbing the ankles. Taking maybe 3 more rounds of breath in any inversion that you chose today. Just reaping the benefits of reversing the blood flow, right? We change the circulatory direction. It's very good for the internal organs. Even the thyroid loves this. And then we can meet in legs up the wall for the last bit of core work. If you flex both your feet, you can try to lower the legs at the same time. I know it's hard for some of you, so you could always do one leg at a time. Taking fish pose, perfect counterbalance. You glue your legs together, pointing the toes as you prop up on the forearms. Walking the hands forward, lifting the sternum, looking up. Maybe letting the head come back so the crown of the head touches the mat as well as the tailbone. You can bring hands to heart center. Maybe float your feet off the ground. Taking a lion's breath. So you take an inhale through the nose and stick out your tongue, open mouth. To release, heels come down, forearms come down, tuck the chin, and recover. Hugging right knee into the belly. So working the ascending colon as you draw that right knee even closer to the armpit. And then let's extend that right leg high to the sky. Lace your fingers behind the hamstring. You could walk it up the calf or reach for the foot. If you have your strap, you can even hook it around the ball of your foot as you draw the leg in. And then with your peace sign fingers, let's hook the big toe. If you can't reach there, just anywhere inside the right leg. Open the right leg all the way out to the side. Maybe opening the left arm like a wing. Starting to slow down the practice. So you can close that right leg in, bend the knee now, and with your left hand, take it all the way across the body for spinal twist. You're on the left side of the body, the right arm opens out, and you can just turn your head ever so slightly to look beyond the right hand. So really twisting through the oblique. Feeling good. This is the yoga high. No drugs required. And then let the head come back to center. Let the right knee come back. Bring the left knee in. Extend the right leg. Lace your fingers just below the knee. And again, instead of just drawing into the belly today, let's take that left knee towards the left armpit, work in the descending colon. Aiding in digestion. And then again, you can extend that left leg to the sky. You can grab behind the bulk of the hamstring. You can walk up the calf, reach for the foot. You can lift the forehead if you choose. And then left fingers grab the big toe or anywhere inside the leg, or use your strap as you take the left leg out. Don't let it touch the earth. Let it just hover. Your right hand could even come onto the right hip to kind of counterbalance. Or you can extend the right arm out. One last hip stretch. And then as you close the knee back in, the leg back in, you'll bend it. The right hand then grabs outside the knee, roll onto the right side body, knee goes right. Left shoulder head melts down as you turn your head to the left. Soft smile on the lips. It's a good moment here. The body likes to twist and feel at ease. And we peel back the outer layers so that our internal light can shine. All right, head to center, knee to center. Hug both knees in again. Soles of the feet to kiss. 3 grateful breaths. Maybe hands on belly, hands over heart. And just think of 3 things in your life that you are grateful for. We practice gratitude. It's the easiest way to come back into the present moment. Letting joy expand. And then when you're ready, coming into your final Shavasana, you could stay here as long as you wish. The fingers can touch overhead. Or you can totally extend the legs, extend the arms. Just letting everything go now. There are so many messages I receive about people shedding tears after yoga practice. But it's a good release because your body isn't lying to you. It holds on to past trauma. It holds on to stress. And when we open ourselves up, things move clearer, more freely. We have more space. So just taking in the benefits. You just worked hard for 45 minutes. And everything waiting for you is going to be there. And you're going to be better as you approach it. So letting the bell chime slowly start to help you awaken. Bring some movement into the fingers and the toes. Turn head side to side. Reawaken. Taking the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. And then decide if you want to come to your fetal position, extending the right arm as a pillow, letting the knees fall over. You can also rock and roll on the spine. It's a little more invigorating as you come up. Finding that comfortable seat, whatever that might be. And then bringing the hands into your heart center as you bow the chin to the fingertips. Thanking yourself for showing up and doing the work. Reflecting back to intention that was set. And join me in continuing to shine your light and do the right thing. And trust that everything is working out for your highest good, even on the days where it might be cloudy or confusing. Namaste.